Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Emperor Jay. I'm here with another episode of Sit Down with the Emperor with my wonderful special guest of the last episode. That was Josh B., also known as Cashmere Brown. Josh, how's it going?
How's it going, Jay? How's it been popping with you? What's going on? Been a
You
while.
know, it's been a while for sure, and the world has completely changed. So, speaking of which, we can go ahead. We're gonna jump right into it, man. Coronavirus. What is your take on everything? What is your overall reaction, and how are you handling things?
Man, where do I start? I'm handling it pretty, just working on making sure my mind is still right, um, resting well, staying hydrated, taking the necessary precautions. Even though certain people, everybody's not taking this as serious as everybody, but it does exist. It is real. You know what I mean? And they kind of manipulate the numbers a little bit. There's a lot of media going on. There's a lot of avenues to catch all kinds of different news. So you can get really scatterbrained, if you just stay mindful of what's going on and take precautions. And that's mainly all I've been doing, man. Just making sure I take care of myself and my people. And
Mhm.
but as far as how I look at it, other than that, it's exhausting. I can see how it's
Yeah.
affecting everybody, even if you haven't been directly hit with it. Um, there's definitely some elements that everyone can ignore. You know what I mean? And
Yes, absolutely. And I like what you said. Like, yeah, sure, there may be a little manipulation. The numbers may not be exactly correct, but the people who are giving us the certain information telling us, hey, stay home, wear a mask, these are people who've studied medicine. They've studied disease and how it evolves. So it's not just an agenda like some people say it is, and they say, oh, you're sheep for not listening. No one wants to be sick, okay? No one wants to risk being sick. No one likes being sick. No one enjoys it. So I do think it's important not only to, follow directions, wear a mask, but the things that, may not be so frequently pushed, like, hygiene, vitamins, supplement your diet, take care of yourself, get lots of rest, keep your immune system, do those things that you should be normally doing in your daily life. Just take good care of yourself so if worse comes to worse and you do get it, you have the best chance of
right,
fighting the virus. And another big thing is like try not to give it to other people. And some people think this is all just about them, and it's really not. And outside of that, I think you have a great approach to, like you said, just keeping your mind right, because this is tough, especially me personally. I'm working from home. So, it's tough.
definitely.
It
Yeah.
may blend
It's tough for
together, and
everybody,
yeah.
man. Mental strength is humongous for me. It had been a huge thing even before the virus had hit. Practicing mental stability and having a strong mind about things and taking time to analyzing things up and
Yes.
down before you make decisions. But uh, but definitely, man, like you got to take care of yourself. Like a lot of people take that for granted. The human body is strong. It can do a lot of things. It can heal pretty well, but you have to give it a chance to heal. And like you said, drink a lot of good fluids, a
Yes.
lot of vitamins, a lot of electrolytes, things to keep your immune system up because it's definitely an attack on the immune system. You
Yes.
know, as far as what they're saying is, it's like if your immune system is lower, or like you say, if you're not eating as healthy, or taking your health for granted, then it can easily creep up on you. I can see, especially if you already have health issues already. They're saying that that it's attacking those people uh,
Right.
more than someone that has a healthy immune system. So uh,
Yeah. It is
it's
definitely
a lot.
something to. Yeah.
It's been a lot. It's been a big change. Really, is for my kids because my daughter, her this was her first school year. This past school year, kindergarten, and then she was going to play soccer too, and that got canceled. So it's really been tough on the kids. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people aren't really talking about that, man. But as far as the children right now, like it's a lot going on for them. The world's being shocked as they know it right
Yes.
now.
I think that's the best way you could have described it. The world is being shocked. And like last time, we focused the interview more on your music, and we're definitely actually about to get right back into that with my next question. But this interview, I do want to get into some personal stuff and some societal issues. But before we get into all that, man, how
Hey,
has your music been affected by the virus? How is it as an artist? Do you have more time to
well,
work on songs, or is it hurting because you can't go out on tour and perform?
the shows have definitely been limited. Like, of course, like anything with major crowds or any type of togetherness has been limited. So,
Yes.
but creative wise, like I hardly ever stop that. Like I'm one of those people. Like I think I really have an issue, like a problem with creativity. Like I'm addicted to it. That's my addiction. Is
Okay.
being artsy and crafty and creative, even beyond music. Like just doing things. You know.
Yes.
But as far as music, I'm still evolving as an artist. Whenever I decide to do music, definitely one of my talents. I definitely don't take that for granted, but it's just something that just never goes away. Like I can go do graphic design and do different things, and then come back to music, and it's incredible still. You know what I
Right.
mean? The feeling of it. So and people still call for it. Like people that I run across to, like some of my original fans, like original people that used to listen to my music, and new ones, because now they get the time to actually listen,
Okay.
and really break down what you're saying. Because a lot of some of my stuff can go over heads and it's lyrical, so
Yes.
just take the time to really listen. And I got a lot of entendres and similes, metaphors. A lot of different type of pictures. So like whenever I do music, I'm predominantly that type that you got to sit down and listen to, and that's good. That's good for me because now people have time to listen. They clued into whatever social media or TikTok or whatever they can get their hands on to feel sane while this quarantine is going on. So um, I'm looking at it as a good opportunity, a good opportunity to come together, more family time, more
Yes.
creativity time, more collective time. More time to say collect your thoughts and really appreciate everything. Like really, really soak everything in.
For sure. And going off of that, man, while we have a free moment, what new has come out? What do you want to get out to the people?
Man, actually, we do got a conjunction of projects coming out. We don't have no
Oh.
specific date, but actually just finished Let's Get the Business, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably do 2 volumes to it. And it's a project. It's gonna be hosted by DJ Q, and I just sent it to him a few days ago, and he's probably gonna end up working on that this weekend. So I should probably end up dropping that within a week or two at least.
Awesome.
And, that's just gonna be free music, just something that I was just inspired at the moment, and I'm only gonna put about 4 or 5 joints on it, and then me and my brother got another project coming out. It's called Two-Headed Monster.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we don't have the specific date on that, but my brother's named Seven Child. Look him up.
For sure. Give
He's
both
some
of these
channel
guys a
on.
follow.
Yeah, yeah. Look him up on YouTube. He's been doing this thing for he's seasoned, and he's you know he's precise and he's sharp with what he do. You already know, so
Right.
you have to check him out. So basically, just two animals. His voice is, as you can hear my voice, it's distinct, and then my voice is clear and deep and stuff. And his is similar to mine. So, and with the way we come in, like, uh, it's like witty mixed with knowledgeable, mixed with hard, mixed with man, stylish, original, uh, powerful. You know what I mean? It's one of
Yeah.
those joints, and we might even have 2 of those too. So right now, I'm definitely sitting on 2 or 3 projects at least. And like I said, I got Let's Get the Business getting ready to drop out on my YouTube channel. Um, and I may do a volume 2 for that. Who knows? But as far as music, that's basically what we got going on. We're gonna have some new visuals coming out. Um, a couple little mini movies that we're
Hmm.
working on, mini films, to package up with the music and all that. So um, we just do it as it comes. We got plenty of records,
Right.
plenty of records. We just take our time basically, and when we feel like it, we're gonna hit them with it. And
That's
it's
awesome. Yeah.
and uh, and I still got the features. I've done a few features. I've been charging for features because it got crazy. Like it was cool, but I've done a lot for free, and I realized that a lot of people was calling on me to do verses through my brother. So I went here and put a ticket on it, and um, that's been going pretty kind of steady. Of course, the pandemic slowed a lot of stuff down, but
For sure.
as far as music, we still going. We about to hit them with it, and it's a good time to be inspired. Like anytime things are changing dramatically in the atmosphere, like a artist like me or Seven Child, it just seems like it kind of naturally just comes.
Right.
And those type of atmospheres can really inspire somebody, depending on how you look at it, But I'm gonna try to take advantage of the situation and see what we can do with it, you know.
Yeah, that's a wonderful outlook, especially considering everything going on. Something I would like to touch back on. You said earlier that you were a lyrical artist. Let's say that one of your records goes huge, right? And you wind up getting on the radio on a major station, and somebody came up to you and they wanted you to change your style of music to a more modern day, let's say, mumble rap, if you will. I don't really care for that term because a lot of it's not mumble rap. People just don't actually listen. Um, but let's say they ask you, hey, Josh, let's change your style to something more appealing to the masses. Would you do it, or are you so invested in your craft of lyricism that you wouldn't go for that?
Uh, I mean, I guess it depends on how you break it down into perspective. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, say for instance, like if somebody comes to me and is like, "Hey, I need a record for our football team to come out to," you know what I mean? Like, I'm talented enough that I can come up with something with enough energy, like a more of an upbeat tempo or
Okay.
something with energy that's gonna electrify players while they're coming out and getting ready. So it's basically like whatever makes sense. Like if you're talking about some money, like we can make it work. I'm more of a hustler than I am anything in my eyes.
Okay.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. People don't
we can work
understand
out.
that concept sometimes,
Yeah, like let's get the business. Like
Right.
that's
It's
what
business first.
hashtagging let's get the business. Because yeah, I'm predominantly a lyrical artist, but that doesn't mean I can't cook something up when the time is right. If I feel like that's what I need to do, then let's get the business.
Right. And some
Especially
people may, I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad.
especially if a check involved. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Say
exactly.
less. Say
And-
less. I
yes.
got the talent. I'll try to figure out how to do it and do it.
And that's another thing that, I think some people miss out. They think, oh, he's maybe selling out because his music's changed and stuff like that. It's very rare that you see that, but, it does come up. And my thing is this, at the end of the day, what's going to put food on the table? you know, it's not
Exactly.
something moral in the form of art. You're just changing your art to fit the audience that if somebody
Yeah.
offered me a large sum of money to, I don't know, shoot a bunch of random films about like the absence of whatever. I really couldn't even tell you. So abstract, right? Because I'm more of a concrete filmmaker. I have a premise or whatever. If somebody told me they wanted me to do strictly abstract films, like the art of nothingness type things that, sometimes us writers can get into, I
Right.
would do it if the money's right. My art is not above that, you know, like first
Right.
things first, I have to go feed myself. And, you know, putting food on the table should take priority to that. And it's wonderful whenever you get to blend those two things like you've been able to do with your art as well as, you know, putting food on the table. And I think some people miss that priority. They just, you know, they're all about the art, and art can only get you so far. There's still another dimension to the human being that needs real life, physical sustenance, shelter, you know, things of that variety. And I think we just forget about it
Right.
sometimes.
Right. I mean, as an artist, there's a lot more freedom than it's to me. It's freedom. To me,
Yes,
it's a form of expression. It's a it's your time. You know what I mean? It's not anybody else's time, but at the same time, like I I can get versatile. You know what I mean? Like I can do that. Like
right.
so I would never limit myself. You know, it's just, even with graphic. You know, like with the design and the stuff like that. I love to draw. I would rather draw rather than anything. I'd rather draw than do digital art or paint. But if somebody wants to come to me and hey, can you paint this picture for my wall to put on my bare wall? It's feeling empty. I need something there. And you know, I'll give you so and so and so and so. Yeah, let's make that happen.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just about how far does your artistry go?
All right. I highly agree with that. Well, one last thing before we get off the topic of art and music, man, something that you want to give to people who are, you know, just starting out, advice that you want to give, and then we'll move on to more social issues to kind of pull in like our last segment of things. But any advice you want to give to anybody?
As far as music,
As far as music, yeah, getting your start, you know, doing your thing as far as music.
I mean, like on the business side or on the
Let's hear
artist side.
both. I'm interested in both.
Uh, man, my only advice is just to be yourself. Um, be yourself. Listen to yourself. You know, there's a lot of people trying to do it out here. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you have to listen to yourself to know if you even fit that criteria, or you know if you were amongst a top tier of even worth listening. You see what I'm saying? There's an oversaturation going on right now. Everybody don't want to listen to
That's fair.
everybody.
Yes.
That's just the truth, you know. But you know, people stay around them, you know, and they get biased. You know, their friends get biased with them. Oh yeah, man, you know, you got it. You know, what I mean, you got to know you got it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
'cause those 5, 10 people around you that telling you that you nice, you may not be as nice because you know, that's bias going on, and then you got social media. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a lot of manipulation that comes with this. But as far as being an artist, yeah, I say just stick to your gut feeling and trust your instincts. Be yourself. Stay original. Work hard. Consistency. You know what I mean? And try to reach to people. You know, try to reach
Yes.
out. Reaching
Awesome.
out, it's not that bad of an idea
Awesome.
because
Well, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
the
cutting you
reason why
off.
the reason why I say that is because uh, reaching out. What I mean is reach like to your the farthest potential. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like don't limit yourself. You know, always go take it to the peak. Try to take your artistry to the climax because this pandemic stuff like this reminds you that life is not very, you know, it's shorter than what you think. You know, so yeah, I get that check. I'll rock out to any kind of record, but at the same time, there is certain stuff that I feel like I have to get out. I have to say, you know, like certain things, certain pictures that you want to paint for people, you know,
Mm.
so they can get that perspective before you're not here anymore. You know what I mean? Before you're
Yes.
gone. So like when I was younger, you know, I was I am on the hustle side, but when I was younger, it was more of a loose pen. You know, it was more I'm gonna talk my shit. basically, get on out of here. You know what I mean? But then,
Yeah.
when you get older, you have to form some type of responsibility, accountability. Can't just, you have to make sense. Because now they're gonna be able to tell. Another thing about social media, they can tell. They can tell if you ain't, if that's not you or not. You just kind of, or you tell on yourself. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So, and yeah, just consistent. Just work hard, do stuff. You know what I mean? Challenge yourself. Uh, that's about it for real. And I
Okay.
give myself these reminders too. It ain't really like I'm schooling people, man.
Right. It's always good to, like you said, take your own advice and keep it in the back of your mind. So we're going to head off into the next subject. You actually gave a perfect segue into that, man. Social media, the things that have been going on, not only in the world, but how social media portrays things. And one thing I want to get into, man, is that sometimes it's crazy how, as broad as the spectrum of social media is, people can somehow condense themselves into their own worlds and then not receive certain information. So, for example, the George Floyd protests and etc. Now, I could be wrong. This may be a viable case that people are making. I don't believe it is, but I feel like a big distraction in this is whenever people say instead of protesting, they're using the hot words like rioting, looting, whenever that happened, maybe in the first 2, 3 weeks. However, my question to them would be, when's the last time you've seen a video of someone looting or rioting a store? And it's crazy how we can put ourselves in these little sub worlds of social media, but all be on the same huge platform. I just want to know your thoughts on that, or if you're even a social media guy in general, other than
Right.
marketing.
Right. It's crazy. Now I only use social media for marketing, putting my
Good. Keep
brand
it
out
that way.
there. Like if you seen that Tucci video interview when they asked about Black Lives Matter, I'm kind of like that right now too. Like if you have any, like what does Black Lives Matter mean to me? I don't know. I don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at it
Right.
like a solution because, but the overall cause needs to be handled. And as far as them manipulating the news, that's to the max, right? Like
Yeah.
that's why I don't even watch the news. It's so manipulated, and there's so many different avenues and so many different, you know what I mean, channels and websites and apps and everything to see news on. Is like, where you gonna believe anyway? There's too much to choose from. And as far they can manipulate it in the way they word things, like you said, using those specific terms, uh, man, that's been going on for forever, man. Even when they used to talk about war, like back in the so like the war on drugs, da da da,
Yes.
or you know what I mean? When actually our country manipulated all the wars mainly that we've been in. So it's just like the media is crazy. And it started back a long time ago. But nowadays there's so many different platforms to catch information from that, people's minds can become scattered very easily. And I don't blame them. Everybody's mind doesn't work like the same as everyone else's, and uh, people take in information differently. People react to information differently. And we all got a decision to make what type of information you want to put out there and how you want to word it. And I think we got to treat it a little bit more preciously because, yeah, somebody like an adult may say something. They might say something that they take as a joke, but somebody else might look at it and, they get offended. Everybody's commenting. And now you got a whole viral situation. Like, I've seen that. It's crazy. So, but yeah, they doing the same thing with the protests and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, they're gonna show more negative than positive. You know
Right.
how it is. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
It's always gonna be that way. Um, I'm not sure the reason why it's like that, but for some reason, and then people they post negative news more than
Yes.
positive news. you know? So I don't know what it is about the negativity thing, but that's why I don't watch the news. It's just like, nothing to see here, really. It's going to be negative. They're going to feed me something negative. Majority of the time. Majority of the time is it.
And
But
well,
social media,
go ahead.
and
My bad.
then, not to cut you off, but the social media bubble is crazy now. Like,
Yeah.
right. And now that we quarantine, like, it's more like people are just mainly, a lot of things are coming out of the woodworks. People, like people's true feelings. It may be somebody you might think was a certain way, and now you perceive them differently because now
Yes.
certain subjects are getting brought up. And me personally, I haven't took anything personally, anything that I've seen or any, because I'm not very political. I don't vote. No pun intended. No cap. But I do not vote. Never voted in my life, so I don't get really political. Uh, Probably more on the spiritual side and
Okay.
more of a strategic um, thinking. Like, I'm a deep thinker, and I just kind of let my conscience be my guide, really. And if it doesn't feel right to me, I'm not gonna go in that direction. Now, as far as social media, I don't even talk about it. I don't say anything on there. I don't mention, especially what's going on nowadays. I don't. I don't want. That's not what I want to do. I'd rather take another. Let me be the artist behind it.
Okay.
Look at this picture I drew, or listen to what I got to say on this record or something, or check out this Imperial J and Cashmere Brown interview. Uh, you know, two intelligent young men, as you
Okay.
perceive
Yeah.
me, yourself, and using our voices right now,
Right.
well, without hooting and hollering and
Hmm.
writing a whole bunch of comments and all that. I'm not getting all that. So,
Yeah, there's definitely a distinction between like wasted efforts behind the keyboard. I definitely am not against advocacy for, equal rights for African Americans. We just say black people. I'm not against that at all, but sometimes we put our efforts into the wrong things. Not all of your retweets are going to go into actual action. Go take action, support your
right.
other black brothers and sisters that are going through the struggle right now. Send them a text and check on them. There are so
Yeah,
many different things you can do, but
take
instead
real.
sometimes we
Yeah,
you know
yeah, yeah. Take
we're just
take real
fighting.
action. You know what I
Right.
mean? Take real action, because I'm seeing a lot of news. I'm
Yeah.
seeing where Michael Jordan supposedly, Michael the Magnificent, he's great. Everybody knows that. But I see where he donated 100 million,
Wow.
100 million, Jay, to the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm like, or what movement? They didn't even say what movement. They just said to the social justice or social injustice movement.
Right.
100 million. So if you donate 100 million, that's a lot of money to go around. So if something doesn't change economically on the urban culture side, or business wise, or power structure wise, or
Hmm.
even lawful wise, it's kind of one sided in that too, like judicial system and everything. That's why the
Yes.
system, it kind of stays stagnant. There's not a whole lot of uh, major changes that's going on with that. And the prison system is crazy. It's just one sided, like crazy. Like the numbers are nuts. It's obvious. So like, if you ain't seeing none of this change with 100 million, like
Right.
we gonna see. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I'm seeing a lot of news. I'm seeing a lot of people uh, supposedly and hopefully through their whole heart, supporting this movement for the right cause and the correct cause. Because there's a thing called the wave, Jay, and I'm seeing a lot of this move. Now, I hope 100% of these people are really for the cause. You know what I mean? But I'm
Yes.
gonna say since I'm not an idiot, I'm gonna say about 65%, 65, 35,
I
65
think
really for
that
the
could be
cause,
fair.
35 riding the wave.
Yeah. I definitely think there's genuinely a majority of people, especially now that, I'm not going to just simply say, oh, racism is gone, because it's not. It's definitely still alive. But I definitely think with the more education has progressed, we have more people who are willing to not think in the way of, the ancestors who had the slavery mindset, who were putting black people into slavery, and then the Jim Crow era, which and the civil rights movement, which really is recent, but I think we're getting out to where we're starting to see that information, try to learn from those mistakes. But like you said, there's
Yeah,
just not a lot of action going towards it. And, some people legitimately want to see change. So,
yeah,
and like a buddy of mine talked about, it's been very difficult because of, and, let's listen to the whole thing before you take this clip, because of the Black Lives Matter movement. This has always been a movement, okay? But the thing about America is that we love to, and like my buddy put it, we love to put slogans onto things and labels onto things. And we felt the need to label this movement, which, in all honesty, it got the attention it needed. I'm okay with that. But I think sometimes that allows people to make it into a political thing when it's not political, when it's about human rights. Human
right.
rights is not political. It's not something that you should be able to agree and disagree on. And now people are taking this, right, and saying that it's the left, it's the right. It's not the left or the right, it's human rights. And I think that because of that slogan, it has been kind of entrapped into that to where it has been made political, which is just another distraction as I see it. So
Right,
I love your
right.
take on it because you're kind of disconnected and like you're doing your own thing. You're not really engulfed in the news, not really engulfed in social media. So I loved your take because you have kind of an outside perspective. You're not engulfed in all this, but you still share similar beliefs to people that believe in that movement, and you're not out hashtagging it. So
Right. Like, yeah, I'm not hashtagging it, but that's because I know I'm true to myself and
right,
true to what I believe in anyway. And, if you want to come check me or anybody, about that, then I'm very comfortable in my own skin and
yeah,
what I believe in and who my peoples was and what they went through and all of that nature. There definitely needs to be some changes done. And yeah, it did make it's made a strong impact. But like you said, what type of impact is it really making? Because once it goes from attention, it has to go from attention to something else.
right,
You see what I mean? And I'm seeing
exactly,
a lot of wave and a lot of attention, but I'm not really seeing the in stone strategic moves yet. And I'm gonna give it some
yes.
time because I got hope in it, I got faith in it. But right now, what I'm seeing, I just think we got to be a little careful.
I highly agree with that. Like you said, I definitely believe that there is an awakening. There are more people, especially people even apologizing, for example, with the situation with Colin Kaepernick. And some people were still like, he's not a hero. In fact, he is. And I will stand by that because it takes a lot to subject yourself to that when you're making that much money. Okay, we talked about earlier, if the check is right, we will adjust our art form, and then it takes a lot for him at that moment to use his platform, and especially to use that form of protest, which, if you guys didn't know, was suggested to him by someone who's in the military. So it was a simple protest against police brutality. Now I think we're seeing sort of an awakening and a shift of people's minds thinking, hey, okay, maybe we have swept this under the rug some. Maybe we have ignored this whenever our fellow citizens, our black people have, well, not our black people, let me rephrase, when black people have been saying these things for all these years, saying, hey, we're not treated the same by officers. In fact, a lot of us are killed by officers when we're unarmed, or the systemic racism in the prisons and even in the education system.
Yeah,
So people are finally, like you said, we talked about attention. We're in that stage. People are aware. They know now it's time for action. It's time for legislature. It's time for um, plans of action. And in transparency, I don't know what that starts with. I want to, and I definitely want to do more research and learn that. That way I can do my part in helping. But, it's very hard to put a finger on. But my
Like you
thing
said,
is, have we seen any legislature, any like concrete things we can put and look at and say, because of this, we got this?
you hit it right on the head, man. It's we in that awareness stage
Yes.
where yeah, we need that action. And like you said, maybe one of the reasons is because it looks like people are coming together, but are they really coming together?
Yes, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I'm making this sense. Like, because especially like people are isolated from themselves, from each other right now, mainly. So what we're seeing is more of a virtual movement. The people
Hmm.
who are physically out there are out there. I give that to them. Some of them got to take breaks and then they going back out
Amen.
there. Still, somebody's got to stand up for the cause. Something needs to be, put out there. But I'm waiting to see that wave go over those rocks. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
tumble onto the land and flood it with new prosperity.
And weed out those, like you said, that are just riding on the wave. Because right now, in all honesty, this is the first time, and I'm going to say this and take it however you will, but this is the first time since this has come up and since the hashtag was created, what, about 2013, 2014, we first started seeing it.
Mhm.
After the first, I hate to say it, but it's literally a round of killings of black people who are unarmed or on traffic stops. For example, in 2015, Sandra Bland. So whenever this hashtag came out, at first, it was something that you stayed away from in corporate America, right? It was, oh no, that's radical, stay away. It's too political. This is the first time that we've actually had businesses come out and say, hey, we stand in solidarity. Now, it doesn't mean they're doing anything about it. Okay, let's give credit where credit is due. They may not be doing anything, but this is the first time whenever something like this has gone on that we've gotten clear support, verbally through statement, whatever, but support. So,
I
like we
mean,
said, like it's definitely an awakening stage, and hopefully through this, as you talked about the wave hitting the rocks, let's hope those rocks weed out some of those people who are in it just to see what they can gain from it and save face. Because some of this honestly is PR. I took PR classes in school. This is part of my degree is mass communication.
right,
Sometimes the heat is on you. Sometimes those people on social media actually do make a difference. And
right,
being a publicly traded company, sometimes you have those eyes on you and they're looking like, hey, what are you going to say? And a lot of people who are prominent figures, which is another topic I'm actually going to get to in a second, they're like, we looking to him to say anything. And sometimes they just have to say things. So it's just, I just hope, I hope that the people who are supporting it are genuine in their hearts, wanting to see change. Because if not,
right.
then you disagree with my human rights. And at that point, I cannot speak to you. It's not political, it's human rights.
And that's what's crazy. It might come down to rights. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Laws.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It has to, something on paper. That way people can be held accountable. For example, police officers killing unarmed black people and it's on video. That's the biggest thing that throws this. It's on video and people will either find a way to A, discredit it, B, try to find things of the past of the person who is deceased. You don't do that whenever anyone else dies at all in a car crash or anything. You don't dig up their past. But yet, the moment that they're killed by an officer, now we're digging up their past. And not to mention, oh, they're African American. Okay, so like it's very it's very
yo,
difficult watching, and like
and
I
it's
just really hope people open their eyes to see kind of what's going on and want change and want actual unity.
right. And sometimes you gotta wonder, like maybe the ones that do see, and the ones that don't want to see just don't want to
They
see.
don't want to. Yes, that's a
Because
big thing.
because Jay, that's come on, there's an oversaturation of this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's been this thing. I mean, look how long this been going on. So that's not a secret. The only thing is that the cameras is just Now it's everywhere. So it's more exposed and it's reaching more people.
Right. You're exactly right. So speaking of which, we'll go ahead. I'll ask you another question. How do you feel about the call for celebrities or entertainers or big people in the African American community? How do you feel about there's somewhat of like a longing for people to say, hey, why doesn't LeBron James, for example, come out and say something or do something? Why do you think we look to those people, and do you think that's okay?
Uh, oh, I think first off, all right, you say LeBron James. So
For
here's an
example,
example.
just throwing out a name in all honesty.
Somebody like LeBron James, he's getting paid to do what he loves to do, but it's also a job of his. So his limelight comes from his job, actually. You know what I mean? The way he's
Yes.
taking care of his family is in the form is being popularized, and that's how everybody knows it. So that's really not fair to LeBron James. But somebody like LeBron James, just by uttering a couple of sentences, definitely could cause an impact, especially with younger people, because those mainly the ones that look up to him. You know, like the younger ball players and the kids from the hood, and you know what I mean. People, because
Yes.
LeBron's come from nothing, and they see him rise to the top through hard work and perseverance. So anything that he says is definitely gonna make an impact. But I don't think we need to get in the habit of looking at these people
Yes. Thank you.
for actual change and movement because that's not his position. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to go holler at Barack Obama, you know what I mean? Somebody write him a couple letters and be like, hey, I think this would be good if we could do this. You know, what do you think about this and that? Or somebody that's actually in a position that can make a change.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying he couldn't make a change, but that's not his position. That's not what he's puts the boots on and goes to the office every day for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not what
Exactly.
that's not what he signed up for. And one part of his job is hard, very much hard work, and but the other part of his job is entertainment too. So of course he's going to entertain the flashy dunks and everything, and we're supposed to be entertained. So people buy tickets to go watch and pay for the bubble. But uh, I don't think the extra pressure should be thrown on that.
Right.
And I think if somebody like that of that stature is a good person anyway, then they probably naturally are going to gravitate to doing something healthy and positive anyway.
Exactly. Yes. Because if it's in their hearts, they're gonna find a way to do it. Money's not really a thing for those guys, or girls.
Right?
In most,
Because
it's
I feel
not
like
money.
yeah, I feel like if somebody like that, if they're in that position and they ignore it their whole career and don't do anything for anyone or stand up or mention anything in their interviews to to show put the light on that, then that's just pathetic, and they're probably gonna fall off anyway.
Right.
Like so.
Yeah. And there's
That's a good
also
that's
something.
that's a, that's a good question though, because like
Right.
I see where I see where they're kind of when the Last Dance series of Michael Jordan and them, they started like talking about how he's not standing up for certain issues and all that. And I'm thinking, dude plays basketball, you know, like, like,
Right.
and plus, I think it was after his father had died or something like that. You know, I'm like, yeah, he's Michael Jordan, but he's a human being too. Like, you don't know what he's going through. You know, it might be something more severe in his life going on than what you're thinking about. And what he's not mentioning and focusing on. It might be something personal with him that he just doesn't want to touch on the subject. But you never know what people are going through. That's my point.
Exactly. I think that's a great way to mention it. They're still people, And I think that's the way I approach it too. They're just people. So because they, and actually, let's give credit where credit is due. I mentioned LeBron out of randomness, but LeBron has done a lot, and he's been
That's,
very vocal actually. But
yeah,
it's just
from what I see, yeah, he
mhm,
does some things, some good things.
right. But in other regards, we have people who are just like, well, such and such hasn't came out and said anything. Well, sure, they haven't tweeted, but you don't know what they're out doing in the communities or what they've been doing in the communities this entire time. You make it sound
That's the
like they're just
thing.
sitting at home and
That's
like
the
they're
thing.
doing
Like
more than you
you don't
tweeting.
know. Like, you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm not on a certain social platform or something, you can think what you want to think. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really like you said, people are in these virtual bubbles to where, okay, you ain't been on Instagram in over a month. What's up with you, Jay? Like, what's going on? Nothing. You know what I mean?
Just
you
not
just
been
living
on it.
life. They don't have a clue what's going on. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we come to a close, Josh, is there anything that you want to get off your chest? Anything else that, we can cover briefly while we have a few moments, man? We've been through a lot. We've been through music and in music, COVID in music, advice for younger artists, as well as, some social issues in both of our stances. Just briefly, we could talk all night about that, but we won't. Is there
Yeah.
any last thing you want to leave the people with before we get off of here?
Maybe a few things, man. I just want to let everybody know, man. Hope everybody stays safe and and full of prosperity in life and everything because I've actually been living good. Life has been going good, to be honest with you. You know, I've been fortunate. I've been working hard. I've been creative. Uh, I've been having a lot of fun just being a parent. You know what I mean? Just eating good, taking care of myself, and I just try to be a better person every day. It's not never always about being perfect, but it's just working on yourself every day, learning
Agree.
something new, learning something new every day. You know, and that's basically it, man. How you been doing?
I've been good, more or less the same, man. It's gotten to me a few times being just, I am a recluse. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm a social butterfly, but it's because being in the house because you have to definitely takes a toll on the mental. And then working from home, having your place of work in the same place as you reside, it takes a toll on you mentally. But like you said, just been taking care of myself, trying to be a better person every day. I think you've wrapped it up perfectly. Trying to learn new things, especially this is the time, right? You have nothing
Yeah,
but time. Technically, we really had the same amount of time. We just spent it on other things. But now we are forced to have more time to pick up new things, work on things, get better
yeah,
at things. I think
yes,
this is the perfect,
yeah,
reason to do this. And for where we live, things are kind of opening back up. You can
yeah,
still go out. Obviously, guys, wear your masks. Like they're saying, listen to these experts.
yeah.
Don't listen to everyone, but listen to the experts. Wear your mask,
Yo,
man.
wear it just in case. You feel me?
Just in case, even if it is a hoax, you still win, right? You just have a
Yeah,
mask over your
exactly.
face,
It's better
right?
safe than sorry. You feel
Better
me?
safe than sorry. And for those of you still in quarantine, if you may be watching this video, still shelter at home, can't go anywhere, man, keep your heads up. It's rough. I've been working from
But
home since about March. Keep your heads up, guys.
yeah, and
Just yeah,
yo, and that's what's crazy though. Like because I was supposed to be starting to shoot the video and these videos and this movie that my first movie appearance that I got coming up. I'm real excited about that. Um, I got a check cut to me already, so I'm just waiting to start filming it.
right. Well, I'm
Uh,
looking forward to seeing you in it.
Most definitely, we're supposed to definitely start filming it before the year's up, well before the year's up. It was supposed to be before that, but of course, what's going on out here. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and some other venues and some other things coming up as well, creative wise that I'm getting into. I'm really excited about.
I'm excited for you. Like I said, it's always great to get more things out there, and especially those who are stuck at home. This gives them stuff to watch, and this is
Yeah,
wonderful for them So, with that, any final thoughts?
Uh, nah, it's all good, man. It was good talking to you again. It
Good
always
talking to you. Well, I'll give you a second, last minute promotions just to remind everyone on how to find you, where to listen to your music. And I'm going to be looking for those new projects. You let me know as soon as they're done. I'll definitely be listening to them.
no doubt about it. I'm hoping college football and NFL and college basketball start popping too.
I hope so too. It'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So you want to give the people your
Um,
socials, all that?
IG, my IG is Josh underscore B 5000, and then I got a Snapchat Craft God 6. That's my Snapchat. But ultimately, my YouTube channel is where most of my music is been popping up, and that's Cashmere Brown on YouTube. Go subscribe and I'll be popping up with new stuff on there. Like I said, I got a new project that's getting ready to drop in a couple days. Probably less than a couple days. I did the artwork for it myself, and then I got DJ John Q. He's gonna put his spins on it. Kind of, I told him shoot for like a old school Clue mixtape or a Who Kid DJ drama, like the old school vibe where the punchlines are sticking out to you and the pictures is crazy.
Okay.
So that's what I told him we're going for. So that'll be coming, and then I got me and Seven Child coming with Two Headed Monster. That's what we got it called. And then there'll probably be a volume 2 to both of those projects. So I'm gonna be keeping in contact with you, Jay.
For sure, I'll be here. Just keep in contact, keep in touch, man. Stay safe, guys. This is Josh B, also known as Cashmere Brown. Check him out on YouTube, like he said. Go look at his new projects as they drop and the stuff that's already there. You might find a new artist that you enjoy and put in your playlist. I know I have just getting to know him and his lyricism. With that, guys, this is Emperor J with "Sit Down with the Emperor." Just spoke to Josh B. You guys have a wonderful time, man. It was nice
Yo,
seeing you again.
hey man, stay healthy, man. And one more thing, I've been popping with the artwork too. So I got some artwork on my IG. That's Josh underscore B 5000. Check some of that out. Some of my business been popping up with that. So maybe you'll be interested in something. And
Yeah.
and Jay, I already know you stay hustling, man. So don't work too hard, man.
I'll
Once
do my
again,
best.
yeah, nice talking to you, man. It's always great. It's a
Nice
pleasure.
talking to you. For Josh B and Cashmere Brown, I'm Jay Davis, also known as Emperor J, and we're out of here, guys. Y'all have a wonderful time.